What we're looking at here is question 6, okay? Two straight roads intersect at point 0 and cross at an angle theta to one another such that tan theta equals 3/4. Two cars A and B are travelling towards all of these roads, A at 10, B at 20 meters per second. What I'm going to do this time around is the first thing I'm going to do is find out what A is. Okay, so I'm going to redraw my diagram. Okay, so I'm going to redraw my diagram, and my diagram is going to have AB. Have you guys started trigonometry yet? Okay, brilliant. Now, what we're going to do first and foremost is find out what tan inverse 3/4 is. So can anybody tell me what tan inverse 3/4 is again? We did it yesterday. Sorry? 36.87, is it? So I won't round it off to the very end, okay? So 36.87. Okay? So 36.87. Okay? I now know this to be 100. I know the other side to be 100, and I'd like to calculate what is the distance between A and B. I'll call the distance between A and B, I don't know, I'll call it D. Now, we have a rule called the cosine rule. I taught you it the other day, I got you to do it the other day. Cosine rule is A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So what I'm going to say here is I'm going to say that D squared equals 100 squared plus another 100 squared minus 2 times 100 times another 100 cos 36.87. You gotta go to the calculator straight away, put all this in. 100 squared plus 100 squared minus 2 bracket 100 bracket another 100 and then cos 36.87 close bracket, and you find out that D squared is 4,000 nearly on the money. Okay, square root your answer. And what we get here is 63.246. Okay, it's a weird one to. You don't want to round it off too quickly. D equals 63.246. Alright, that is 63.246 right there. Now, what happens next then is I'm going to find out what the velocity of A is, what the velocity of B is, and I'm going to find out phi AB. Okay? So phi AB is going to be phi B is going to be minus 20i because it's going to the left 20. To figure out what phi A is, we just basically we know it's going at what's it going at 10 down this direction here, yeah? And then we know that this angle is 36.87, yeah? And then we want to find out what x and y are. Okay? So what we can say here is that cos x or cos 36.87, it's the same thing as using the triangle ratios. Cos 36.87 equals x over 10. Will somebody tell me what x equals 10 cos 36.87 is? I think it's the number 8 or number 6. I think it's 8.
8,
yeah. And then likewise y sine 36.87 equals y over 10, and we basically say y equals 10 sine 36.87, and what do we get? I'm pretty sure it's 6. Yeah? So, x equals, this means therefore that x equals 6, y equals 8. 6 and 8. 6, 8, and they're both going down across. This means that VA is going to be minus 8I minus 6J. Okay, then we go back here. Oh, there. Okay, so what I need to do next is I can get rid of all these workings because I have all the information I require to start. Now, we have this VA, okay? Now, we need to work on what VAB is. Oop. VAB. Now, VAB is basically VA minus VB. So it's going to be, so once again, it's going to be minus 8I minus 6J minus 20I. And what that will become is VAB is going to be 12I minus 6J. Now, it's at this point here that I realised that if I brought that to the junction, it's probably not going to work. Now let me explain why. So, should have realised this yesterday, but I was tired. Now, what you have is, in previous questions, we've been bringing it to the junction to make it easier, and then we've been trying to find out how long, where is the closest distance. Okay, so what would happen this time around is that if we brought B to the junction, B is going to reach the junction first, right? Everybody agreed with that? So the two roads are in red. So we have a red road here, red road here. Okay, and what we're looking at is that B, it's 10 divided by 20. 5 seconds later, B is at the junction. Okay, and A is now currently, this is 5 seconds into the future. A has travelled 10 multiplied by 5, which is 50 metres. And 100 minus 50 metres means it's 50 metres away. Now, the problem is with doing this, it's 50 metres away, and the relative velocity between the two of them is going which direction? It's going 12 across, 6 down. So in effect, it's basically going this direction down here. Okay? And what we can see is that we weren't able to make, this is the velocity of VAB. And what we can see is that it's clearly getting further away, isn't it? It's clearly getting further away than 50 metres. Which means that the closest distance has already happened. It's happened before B even reaches the junction. Which means our method is obsolete. Right? Now, if our VAB was going in a different direction, like imagine it was going this way, that'd be perfect. Because then you'd say, oh, the closest distance is this right angle triangle, and you find out your angles. That's not the case at all this time around. It's actually going further away. So that's why I went about getting my distance from A to B at the start of the question. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out different angles, create a triangle that will hopefully give me the closest approach. Okay, so just bear with me for 1 minute. So all I need to do is I can get rid of all this now. The junction method, okay? And then what we're going to try is okay, and here we go. Now, what I have on the board is this here, and I know that I have to figure out what direction this is actually going in. So as we said, it's 12 across, 6 down. Would somebody get me the angle, we'll call it the angle at M? Would somebody get me tan inverse 6 over 12 for M? Anybody want to tell me? Tan inverse of half, basically.
26.565.
26.565. I'll take that. Now, if I was to draw I'm now drawing B is rooted to the spot which we all agree with. And this is since the start of the question. We're doing this before the question, well before they get to the junction. And what we're going to say here is that, okay, we'll get A here. And we'll draw this relative path. And what's going to happen next is, when it's closest to B, it will be at 90 degrees. So the goal of our question right now is to find out what angle is this. That's the important part. Okay. So if I draw another sort of like XY axis up here. Wait, that's not a good draw. Okay, so I'm basically drawing an XY axis there just to figure out for angle's sake. Okay, what I can do first is I can figure out what angle this is here, can't I? Anybody tell me how to go about figuring that angle out? First of all, it's an isosceles triangle. I know that this angle is 36.87. So 180 minus 36.87 is
143.13.
143.13, okay? These angles have to be the same, don't they? Because they're both shared amongst, they're both, it's a isosceles triangle, they're both equal to each other. What do you get?
Wait, you want to put 2?
Yeah. What do you get?
71.565.
71.565, okay, happy enough with that. Now, what happens if I was to, I'm just going to rub this out for a second. What happens if I was to highlight a certain angle, okay? I'm going to highlight two different angles now, okay? And you guys got to see if you can tell me which angle is which, okay? So we'll just do it up here, okay? Can anybody tell me what this red angle is? The red angle. Yeah.
71 minus our small angle.
Yeah, we actually already have it. It's on the board currently.
26 point.
It's 26.565 because this is the angle of velocity of phi AB. Phi AB takes a 26.565 angle. That there is therefore 26.565. Okay? If I was to highlight this blue angle here, who can tell me what the big blue angle is? Yeah?
It's 71.565 minus 26.
Well, no, the full blue angle is 71.565. You're right, you're just ahead of me, alright? See this blue angle here? Do you ever remember alternate angles, lads? This one down here equals this one up here. So the 71.565 equals this blue angle up here. Okay? Because they're both 71.565. Now, with that in mind, okay, what we're going to do then, or next, this will be all second nature to you once you do the trigonometry chapter, okay? What we're going to do then is we're going to zone in on this part here. Right, if you imagine I just zoned in on this one section here, okay? What we have now is we have our, just say our cross here, and what we'll also have is, what we have here is phi AB going down this direction. Oh, wait a second. Phi AB is going this direction down here. We have this blue line coming down this way, and then further down we had this going here to here for the closest approach to B. Okay, and then if we zone in on this angle here, we already said that this is 26.565. We said that this angle here is 71.565. Take them away from each other and you find out that this here is 45. Okay, it's 45, and what we know is that this here is A, That's B. What's the distance from A to B? I mean, the distance from A to B? 63.246. Okay, and finally, we need to find out the closest distance D. The closest distance D, anybody? It's going to be sine 45 equals D over 63.246. What's 63.246 sine 45? 44.72, which is the closest distance there is.